Hello. I hope everybody's having a great start into the year. But while there comes positives, there's always some of the negatives. We are going to go over what I think was one of the worst things to happen here in the WWE, and it was frickin' Kofi frickin' Mania. Let's just go over one thing. I'm grateful enough for WWE awarding longevity over to a star that's been on the roster, no complaints, always hardworking over the card, consistent, congenial fan favorite over most takes, and been wanting a shot at, finally got that opportunity. So I'm not discrediting the work ethic that it take for Kofi Kingston to get where he is in the business. And how he got finally over 11 years, now it's been 13, in the WWE. So now, after his 6-month reign as WWE Champion, what has he done over now? I mean, he won the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Champions in under a year after swapping them with the Street Profits over a dwindling tag division that I guess their most competent feud they had over most of the year technically was Miz and Morrison over the time being. Then they went with this crappy little triple threat ladder match involving one half of the tag team champions, all because one of them was injured. So they awkwardly scrapped it out other than just taking it out of the card because they were doing a 2-day WrestleMania. Garbage. So now Kofi Kingston, overzealous push, they try to throw everything in the kitchen sink and it's like dodge this, make it to that, and let them help you with that. That's literally it. He came around having handicap matches. He got screwed over at Fastlane, Elimination Chamber, when he came over in the last minute, and he got rolled up by Daniel Bryan so he can retain the WWE Championship. Then they gave him 2 gauntlet matches. One was also a tag team gauntlet match that the only cool spot was the Usos, because the year before they had a long-running feud that they ended up in Hell in a Cell, and it ended off with them just forfeiting the gauntlet so the New Day could just have an easier way mowing them down so they can get a breather. Then, oh god, they just pushed over, and that led to Kofi Kingston getting a shot against Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan, you can say, oh my god, he did ruin a bit of what makes wrestling a bit overly special, and just forced around the throat that everybody now has to be a freaking underdog. At least Daniel Bryan has semblances to, make him stay on TV. The guy can act, average to a eventual talker. He's one of the best wrestlers in still this current era, even over most of his injuries. The guy can still go with some of the younger competitors in the roster. Better technician. And heck, he can make a gimmick work and he can be funny. Kofi Kingston can do one of these things. He can wrestle. Other than that, the New Day is like the off-putting thing. Like Kofi Kingston was just black, athletic, and he just was getting underutilized, so he's just part of the New Day. That was it. Over most of what would happen, yes, New Day grown popular up until 2016. That was about it. They tried to remake that final deletion garbage with the Wyatt family. They just overuse the same overly musical catchphrases. They gyrate even though they're grown men. No children ever want to be like the damn New Day. It's just super dumb. It makes them less intimidating, even though they have the most success. Like, they have the most unwanted success. People complain about Randy. At least Randy has a chip over his shoulder, part of a legit faction. The guy still looked like $1 million, and he was made to look like $1 million. Hence, why he's Randy Orton. Why we like Randy Orton now. I can take Randy Orton seriously, heel or babyface, even if you give him a funny segment. I'm still gonna be like, oh, he's gonna kick my ass. Humping, gyrating, big titty, Biggie Langston, Xavier frickin' Tiny PP Woods. At least they have charisma. Not Kofi Kingston. He was just pushed over his longevity. Even though Big E's shown from being like the bland big muscle for Dolph Ziggler, he showed to have a bit of charisma, moral muscle, and he can be an emotional and immersive talker. Even though I hear about him being a major prima donna and screwing over many wrestlers, even recently the Forgotten Sons, that they're now separated, and now they're gonna job with Corbin, and Riker's probably gonna do some decent stuff with Elias, dependent if they make him hang on for television for that long. That's all I'm gonna say about that so far. So over most of that backstory, we go into WrestleMania. It wasn't at the main event because Kofi can't do that. It ends in a dragged over match, kicking out a whole schlop. They did the predictable thing with already the WWE store coming out with the new WWE Champion Kofi t-shirt before the match even aired off. So it was already predetermined that Kofi Kingston was going to win. That kind of ruined the whole feel over the 3 months of build over Kofi Kingston's rise over to WrestleMania. Then we finally had Kofi. He's finally world champion. What did they do with this guy? They put him over a 2-month feud with frickin' Kevin Owens with him pretending to be a babyface. Until he obviously turned heel. It was obvious. He had some decent average moments. Kofi sometimes had, easy, dependable promos, and it's always the same. Man, just came from the bottom 11 hard years. And most of the most crappy parts was that people were trying to primarily push over the race card over why the New Day were even that successful, why Kofi Kingston is WWE Champion. I just thought he sucked because he sucks. Kofi's a primordial talent. The guy's athletic, even in his age right now. He's like in the late 30s, and he can still do some amazing stuff in the ring. His moveset dwindles to doing freaking double standing double stomps. The guy barely sells most of his moveset. His chest is concave. The guy looks like he just came out of a concentration camp in a freaking gym. Kofi Kingston does not look like a world champion. The smaller guys look better, and even the freaking Tony Nese, Daniel Bryan, at least they look like, okay, these guys look like probably in a regular fight they can beat me in a certain way. Dude, and he had feuds with he can't get over, other than he's part of the New Day. Over a 6-month reign, he never had a character change. The New Day never judged his decisions. He never acted like more of a leader, thinks he's the world champion. Never had more stuff to say than... And most of the heels just judging it proved this point that he can't carry himself as a world champion or carry himself with the New Day. Thanks Xavier Woods and Big E just talk over him and take over most of his matches. Now they just made him like the New Day heel, like they didn't do that before. They were way more successful, and that grew more of their popularity. Then possibly that'll be a bit more better for Kofi. That'll be better off for the New Day, so the guys can have something to do and still support their friend. But no, they made him overly strong. Like, people bitch about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns at least looked like a guy that can kick your ass. Kofi Kingston looked consistently strong to beat guys like Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy frickin' Orton. 3 months. Until they made him drop the title to Lesnar in 7 seconds. That was literally the best thing to happen to Kofi Kingston. Dwindling ratings over on SmackDown when it was called SmackDown Live instead of SmackDown on Fox. And people complain over, like, WWE doesn't know how to book him. And they made him the most, like, Rollins was going just back and forth with Lesnar. Kofi was beating, like, a future Hall of Famer, seasoned veterans that were former world champions, and Samoa Joe from, like, 2 years prior before that, he came around nearly snuffing Lesnar in under 10 minutes. You can't. Kofi comes around doing the same old ass moveset. Yeah, it's just Oh, New Day drop. Sometimes the SOS nearly gets over the near fall. His dumb little free fall tope garbage barely sells over any targeted thing correctly. Last time I've been watching SmackDown over most of his garbage matches he had with the Bludgeon Brothers when they were still on television. When they were tagging against when Rowan and Daniel Bryan were tag team partners. It just looked like they were just trying to hide in the falls that, you know, these mid card ass moves shouldn't be able to like beat guys like Ziggler. And it was Ziggler's was like probably the worst. Like, it should have been me. Okay, the last time you were world champion was like 2013. Where were those other complaints to the other guys like Rollins, Ambrose, Styles, Kofi, freaking Kofi? That's where you complain over to have a freaking steel cage match. That the most interesting spot was Kofi just leaping out the cage. It's just garbage. And people are like, oh, give Kofi. No one's gonna ask for Kofi. As soon as people always remotely make the reviews, and Kofi's just chilling around over his promos, and people just forget. Oh wait, he was WWE champion like 2 years ago. Like, people are gonna forget, because Kofi has no semblance of making himself relevant by himself. Kofimania was a cash ploy over a forcible, dragged out storyline because WWE just long-term booking was overly zealously dumb out of nowhere. And this just came out of JTG just saying, did we ever have a black WWE champion? Yeah, Booker T. What, you think the World's Heavyweight Championship didn't mean anything? Like Ezekiel Jackson, Booker T, Bobby freaking Lashley also held that ECW title. But I understand they wanted guys to hold over the main belt, and that's a fair point to them. But racial issues that would have nothing to do with pushing the next guy. People obviously want Lashley to be world champion. Now the guy can be a world champion because he's more of a legitimate dude. He still has the same size as he was. He looks better than he was back in 2007. And he's with one of the major factions. Why not give the belt to him? And that's probably going to happen in the future. Kofi's never going to go over that level again. God. If you couldn't get anything cool from like Samoa Joe that made something as personal attacks on AJ Styles' family, the most entertaining part of 2018, do numbers. Or literally going over a dumb feud with Randy Orton over a botched RKO spot from 2009. And you know the funniest thing? I never thought in my wildest dreams in 2009, like, oh, okay, it's cool, Kofi's doing a feud with... Like, who thought he was getting a main event push after that? The dumbest things people think of. And they want to treat this like the yes movement, the inconsistent as yes movement with Daniel Bryan. Like, y'all can't do underdog storylines anymore. It is because of BS like this. It's so garbage. Like, I don't remember one positive over with Kofimania. You could rarely hit a pin drop until the ending of the match. There are some average okay moves. And Kofi, he's probably a great guy. He seems to not have any negative stuff talking about him other than the controversial stuff that Xavier did with sex tape and what he's doing with YouTube, or Big E's doing on social media and backstage. It's just really shoddy, and Kofi does deserve his time over in the spotlight, but that should have been like as a transitional champion, not a guy that could have had at least one or two storylines done in that period of time he's been world champion. 6 months is a lot of time. If you guys can't remember anything he did over the calendar year other than Lesnar squashing him in under 7 seconds, then that probably deserved to happen. And that's just a business thing. That's not a personal thing. I don't personally hate Kofi Kingston. It was just not the best idea to keep over the belt from him. If he wanted to move it over to Samoa Joe that people wanted, or frickin' Dolph Ziggler that could have been highly better because people can know oh, okay, it's Dolph Ziggler, fine. Like, no one's gonna believe that Kofi Kingston's gonna beat Samoa Joe or Randy Orton, Kevin Owens clean. Oh God, and I was still tight because they were doing this personal garbage, and then they had him have a DQ at SummerSlam, and then they just made him win a clean just at Clash of Champions the next month. Like, why do that? Just let Randy like get himself too cocky and get that trouble in paradise or some garbage like that. And just this is just my unpopular opinion. Of course, people would notably understand that I don't have anything against Kofi Kingston. My final time saying so. I know the guy's doing pretty well for himself. He's a long-time, well-respected vet around the company, and he still has a lot to share in the WWE. So, anything else? This is just memorabilia, or just me bashing old shit that I got pissed off upon because I literally reviewed this for the calendar year. And I didn't enjoy anything about that year other than the Andrade and I guess the matches with whoever the Usos were facing at the time, especially the New Day or the Bludgeon Brothers or Buddy Murphy, or at least 2 weeks of that storyline they had with who threw metal beams at Roman Reigns. Oh wait, it was Rowan. Why? I don't know. Oh man, I'm telling you, dude. Oh man, it's not pleasant looking at under a decade of WWE, dude. It's like rewatching your son fail a test that he could have been passing thanks you saw the answers he could have gotten right. So, that's technically my opinion on the standpoint. You guys probably think differently. If you guys enjoyed kofimania, more power to you. Get something that you can keep along your memory for a long time. Other than me, I think it personally, I thought it sucked. It undervalued the relevance of the championship. It declined the show's viewership by a long time, by a while, until it took like at least until 2020 to pick up. And oh god, it just defunct more of the reason why guys like Kofi or like guys that have no other semblance of a personality can't get over successfully in the main event scene. The more this brand split just flounders around because they don't have even the more influx of talent to consistently make this brand split make any sense. Unless they do some garbage with NXT, I don't see this working out, or at least them trying stuff like that again. So that's just my opinion on the matter. For like, if I can get a counter, somebody does that, I would be really grateful. But that's just what I have for you today. If you guys enjoyed the video, thanks for watching. If you guys didn't, well, if you find it upon your power, please give me an understanding why you disagree. Yeah, there's a comment section. And that's it for me.